Well, hello, everyone. I'm Ryan Danker. I'm the director of the John Wesley Institute in Washington, D.C. I happen to be in Virginia at the moment. Thankfully, I'm at home, but I've got two friends here with me, and I'm going to let you all introduce yourselves to our viewers.
So I'm Steve Beard, and I'm here in the Woodlands, Texas.
I'm Helen Ray Stumbo, and I am right outside Wilmore, Kentucky, and we are having snow today, believe it or not.
Oh, that's amazing.
Unbelievable.
That's good. That's great. Well, Helen Ray, we're here to talk about Good News Magazine and Good News as an organization. Can you tell us a bit about Good News, the organization?
Yeah. Oh, goodness, more than 50 years ago now. 67, I believe, was the year. Chuck Kaiser wrote an article for the Christian Advocate called Methodism's Silent Minority. And just it was blown away by the response that he had. And basically, it was an article about Orthodox Evangelical United Methodist, and so he had so much of a response and people were really wanting to have some way to sort of connect and have a voice together. And so they decided to put together a board. And story that I always heard was that they were working on their kitchen table, Chuck and his wife Marge, and she was just saying, "Oh, I just don't know if we can do this or not. Boy, if this ever gets off the ground, it's going to be good news." And that's kind of where the name came from. I don't know. That's the story that I've always heard. But since then, it's been a voice for evangelicals within the United Methodist Church, who hold to Scripture as our authority. And we've done a lot of reporting where there are great things happening, and unfortunately, we've had to do some reporting where things that are not so great have been happening. So we've tried to do a good balance because we want to keep our people informed, but we also want to keep them encouraged. So that's been our double purpose there.
Yeah.
And you mentioned you alluded to the magazine. Steve, can you tell us a bit about Good News Magazine?
Yeah, so it did begin there on the kitchen table of the Kaiser household and eventually morphed into what it has now been almost 60 years of publishing the magazine. I've been the editor of it since 1991, which is kind of crazy to think about. The breadth and the length of which we've kept our readers informed and encouraged along the way. It's been, depending on where one lives, whatever configuration you're in, annual conference or church, is people have good experiences and not such great experiences. But Good News has attempted to be an encouraging voice for those folks who wanted to remain Methodist and to live out a Wesleyan outlook on life. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, we've been doing that for a while. And I don't know if I hope that is kind of where it is that you're wanting to see things go.
Well, yeah, and I guess now we're going to tell everybody where things are going, because
yes, that's right.
We've all I think all three of us are very excited. So Good News as an organization is closing down at the end of this year.
That's right.
And there's some sadness in that, but it's also, so much work has been accomplished and the goals have been met. But with that was going to come the end of Good News Magazine. And I have to tell you, I was here at my house in Virginia, and I was sitting in the living room, and I knew about the closure of Good News, but there was Good News Magazine sitting on my coffee table. As any good Wesleyan, you've got to have that on the coffee table.
That's right.
And I looked at that and I thought, oh, I'm going to miss that magazine. And then a second later, I thought, well, hold on, you're the director of the JWI, do something about it. And so I guess I should tell everybody what the John Wesley Institute is really fast. It was founded in 2021. The quickest way to describe it is it's a hub with about 130 scholars and church leaders from around the world who work with me and many other people to produce accessible materials, conferences, books, trainings for the laity. It's an amazing thing to have this depth of knowledge and commitment to the faith. And all these people working, like I said, 130 people, a who's who in our Wesleyan world, working together to produce things directly for the laity. Anyway, so with that in mind, and I was thinking, well, here's something that reaches the laity and does an amazing job. Why don't we start the conversation? And so JWI and Good News started having that conversation. And I'm really thrilled to tell everybody that Good News Magazine is going to continue under the John Wesley Institute. In fact, Steve is going to stay right where he is, editing the magazine. And I can't tell you how thrilled I am for all this. And in fact, we're already, Steve and I were talking yesterday about the first edition that will come out next year. And we already had some great leaders in our Wesleyan movement, not just Methodist, by the way, Holiness and Pentecostal, who have already said they want to write for this magazine. But let me, Helen Ray, let me ask you, what is your hope for the magazine going forward?
Well, let me say first that as I have chaired the board these last years, one of the things that was so clear from our board members was we just can't let Good News die. It's just too good. It's too useful. It's had too much of a part of the struggle for renewal in the United Methodist Church and in the Wesleyan world. We would think it would have a positive effect just because it's a way to connect everybody. We won't have to be doing sort of the watchdog stuff that we've had to do a lot of over the years. But I think that our board is just elated that it's going to have a continuing life. We love Steve. We know what he's meant to the kingdom through this printed word. And we hope that it'll be a voice. And I love the idea that it's a larger voice than just what came out of the United Methodist Church, now the Global Methodist Church. And I see it as a way for Methodists all around the world to be able to get to know each other a little better, connect a little better. And I see Good News playing a big part of that. It's gonna be a familiar source for a lot of people, and that's a comfort. But I hope it'll be a new resource for a lot of people as they get to know us.
Absolutely. I love that. And Steve, what are you looking forward to in this new partnership?
Well, this is going to be a second life for an established magazine that's been around for a long, long time, obviously. But it's important that we reinvigorate and rejuvenate and redirect its attention to this larger Wesleyan body that I think that you've got in mind. And that's a very ambitious goal and desire, and that's what it is we're shooting for. Hopefully we'll be giving the kind of transformative writing that is helpful to bring people up and encourage them and for the long haul ahead. So hopefully that's the intent.
That's great. I mean, if our viewers can't tell, we're excited. I think we're all very excited.
We are. We really are.
Yeah.
And I want to take the opportunity to thank the supporters of Good News. Over the years, those who have prayed for the ministry of Good News, those who have been a part of all kinds of things, including their financial commitments. And I'm gonna ask all of you to continue that support. You're gonna start to hear from me now about that support. But the reality is, we need you. This can't move forward without that continued partnership. And it means the world to me, and I know it means the world to Steve and to Helen Ray and so many others. And so that continued partnership is going to be key to keep things moving. And so I look for my emails and my letters going forward, and I ask that you prayerfully consider that support. I also want to thank Helen Ray and Steve for joining me for this quick conversation as we announce the launch of this new partnership, and I'm just thrilled absolutely thrilled we can move forward with what will be a formative Wesleyan voice as we proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you
It's
so
great.
much.
Yeah. Thank you, Ryan.